You guys, we're back. Welcome back to bed. Welcome to Live from Bed after 4 long ass weeks. Like, what's happened over these past 4 weeks has been transformative. It's been everything from turning 31. And by the way, that 1 in 31 is fucking heavy. I had to tell someone yesterday that I was 31 and I was like, shit, it's different than 30. But I keep forgetting that I'm 31. Like 31 is like such an awkward age. And I was like bitching and moaning. And then my mom turned 71 and I was like, okay, you win. That one is heavier than the 31 one. But it's been everything from turning a different age to celebrating the holidays to the dawn of a new year. And then the devastation that was the LA fires. We're like 2 weeks out from that. And it's hard to like find the words to adequately describe what that felt like. You know, I've lived in LA my entire life. I've really never lived anywhere else other than when I went to Miami for college. I'm the proudest LA person. I mean, not to give myself that superlative, but I just love this city so much. And to watch it be torn to shreds by this satanic looking demonic fire makes me feel nauseous even now, like to talk about it. So it started on Tuesday morning, like January 7th or 8th. Yeah. And, you know, it started in the Palisades. And like I said, I've lived in California and Los Angeles my whole life. And I don't think any of us could have imagined a fire getting this bad. And so, you know, a lot of people that I know and love that evacuated, like didn't bring much. They were like, oh, okay, we've been through this before. We've seen this movie before, you know, like we know the drill. We just go and leave for a couple hours and come back. So many people left everything they own. So many people just brought the clothes on their back. And then, you know, it started in Altadena. There were just fires popping up kind of all over LA at one point. But that first night, just watching it destroy the Palisades in Malibu and Altadena and Pasadena, parts of Pasadena, you just couldn't believe your eyes. Like, I just couldn't believe that this was streets that I know by heart. Streets that I'm so comfortable, like that I've spent my whole life driving on. I just couldn't believe that we were so defenseless against this insane fire. And so many people that I love, some of my family, some of my best friends lost their homes. And so many other people lost everything. And like the grief of losing your home, it's like losing like a member of your family. Like it's like losing your tether to this world, like your material things or your history, your, you know, like just the love that you put into every corner and inch of your home. And so many of these people lived in these homes for so many years and they carried all their children's treasures and, you know, memorabilia and all that stuff. And, you know, I got obviously robbed earlier this year. And like, this is that times 100 million gajillion. But I can relate to the fact that like, you miss the sentimental shit. It's like, of course you miss like nice stuff that you saved up for and bought. But no, you miss like the stuff that maybe doesn't cost a lot that you just can never replace, you know, memories from people that have passed and all of that. And so, yeah, like it started on Tuesday and then Wednesday was so crazy because it just felt like Russian roulette almost. You just didn't know which part of LA was going to go up in flames next. So a fire came close to us at one point, and I had seen the way that it tore through the Palisades in Malibu and Altadena so quickly that I was like, oh, I'm not messing around. Like, I'm not going to wait for them to tell me to evacuate. I'm just going to pack up and like, so I'm ready to go, you know, because I'd seen what had happened and I knew all of my friends and family like who'd lost their homes and, you know, how quickly it happened. Like it just happened so fast. I can't emphasize that enough. It happened so quickly. So first my mom was evacuated and like she lives in Brentwood and she and my stepdad were staying with me. So I just started packing up everything in my house and Dylan is, you know, someone's got to panic in the relationship and someone's got to hold it down. So he was holding it down for me, but I was like silently panicking. And so I'm packing everything up and the fire was like, you know, pretty close to me, but not right at my back door. But I just was like, I'm not taking any chances. And then by the time that we'd packed up and I was like, you know, I think we're going to get evacuated next. Like my street was like starting to be on the news and like they were like, okay, like this section of LA is going to get evacuated next. We got in the car. And I look up and we were fleeing from another fire. And I look up, there's a new fire on the street next to mine. So one street away, there's this gigantic, almost pinkish, reddish cloud of smoke coming from the street that was like, that's literally one street over. So that made me obviously terrified. So I ran in and got like a few more like things off the walls. And like, I was like, oh, no, 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 like our house is going down. And like that feeling of going through your stuff and being like, what can I stand to lose? Because you have to pick, you know, and like you're going through your closet. I mean, if you have the chance to even do that, like I was so lucky to even have the chance to do that. And I'm just like running through my closet, like grabbing my wedding dress, grabbing stuff that like is irreplaceable. But then at the same time, you're like, you're looking at the other things that you're not bringing and you're like, I may never see you again. And it's like this weird fucking thing. And so I tore through the house and I finally got everything. And luckily, that fire got contained super quickly. And if it hadn't, it would have burned my house down. But like driving away from my house, looking at it being like, I don't think I'll ever see you again, like is so, I don't think I'll ever be in my home again is like such a sobering, horrifying feeling. And so then we evacuated and we were staying in a different part of LA, but you just like didn't know, like Dylan and I were taking turns sleeping because like you didn't know at what time the news was going to tell you that, you know, you had to evacuate or your friends had to evacuate or your family members, like Dylan's grandparents, like we were worried that they weren't going to know that they had to evacuate. Like it was just such a mess. And, you know, like anytime that you tried to exhale, like another part of LA was on fire and someone you know and love was like near it and you're trying to get in touch with them. There was like no cell service and like it was just fight or flight constantly for a week. I don't think I took a deep breath for a week. And you're just praying, like you just are like praying. It's just such a, I don't know if humbling is the word, but like to see something that we are so defenseless against, just like these flames engulfing these homes. And, you know, so many people I love actually watch their houses burn on TV. It was just, it was awful. It was awful. And now I think like the grief has kind of set in more. And I'm just like, you know, trying to be there for all the people I love who lost their homes, all the people I don't know who lost their homes. I'm trying to find ways to step up. And luckily, like LA, God has never been stronger. Like there are so many helpers, so many people wanting to do anything to help. But when someone loses everything, what do you say? Like, what do you do? You know, you can do anything you can, but it just feels insurmountable to the amount of, to what they lost, you know? And it's just, it's still hard to believe. Like when I see pictures of Malibu and Altadena and I see these homes that were ravaged and just knowing the permanence of it all, that like it's going to take years to rebuild for it to look anything like it ever did, if it ever looks the same or even remotely close to what it looked like ever again. So many people are displaced. Like my mom and my stepdad stayed with us for 10 days. We had my in-laws' dog at one point. My other in-laws were going to come over and sleep at our house on air mattresses. Like everyone was staying with everyone. And it just is like my mom only got to go home yesterday. And she's unbelievably lucky that she even has a home to go home to. The amount of people that are displaced and like how weird it feels in LA. Like it feels like there's just like this looming cloud of like grief and pain and sadness, and yet it's like the most beautiful day out. You know, like the sun has been shining, there hasn't been clouds in the sky, and it's like you just feel like, how am I supposed to go back to normal life when like so many people in LA can't? And like just the insurance of it all and the permanence of losing your home that you loved. And I don't know, it's really hard to like wrap your head around it. And every day I have to remind myself that like it happened and it wasn't just a bad dream. So, you know, I've felt really weird. I've like been in another scary dimension for a while, and I'm slowly like kind of starting to come back to life. And I'm so happy to like be with you guys and try to be normal. You know, like I wrestled for a long time with like when to put this episode out and how to put this episode out. And, you know, I recorded it before we went on this break. So I recorded it in December. And I just feel like a different person from the person that recorded it, you know? And I don't think I always will, but I just feel like right now, like, God, this huge thing happened and this episode's funny and fun and Casey's amazing. But it just felt like inappropriate to put it out or it feels inappropriate to do everything. Like it just feels like, you know, you just don't know what to do right now. But then I thought people need to not feel guilty about needing a break and like needing to You guys know it's really bad when I didn't watch Housewives for like 10 days. Like I was like, all you could watch was the news because you were watching in real time to like see if you had to evacuate or like what you had to do. And all of us have been just completely turned upside down. But Casey lives in LA and people she knows and loves were affected. And I just feel like this is a moment for us all to like detach if you live in LA, like a moment of just disassociation, honestly. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. Like, I loved recording this episode with her so much. She's so fun and funny. And I swear our brain chemistry is like extremely similar. And like she said, she's like a little bit older than me. So it's interesting to see how that manifests itself as we get older. And she's incredible and so talented and so real and honest and cool. And, I lied to you guys in this episode. I said that she was the first second timer because we've had her on before. She was one of like the first episodes, not one of the first, but like in the first season of Live from Bed when it was called Tell Me About It, for those of you who are there for that. Shout out. But Kat Cohen was actually the first second timer on Live from Bed. But Casey is another wonderful second timer on the show. And there's like so much I wanted to talk to her about. Like I could have talked to her. I feel like I say that a lot, but I really meant like I could have talked to her forever. Something that we didn't get to that I find so interesting and I urge you guys to read about is how she had a surrogate for her third child. And that was largely due to her mental health and like how she felt like she fell into like a lot of postpartum mental illness and she wanted to have a surrogate for this pregnancy. I just admire that honesty. And I think that a lot of people want to use that story as like permission, that that's enough of a reason to not want to carry your child yourself. And I just think it's so fascinating. But she's very unapologetically herself. She's kind and I just love talking to her, as I said. But so she came on actually to promote the Great American Baking Show Celebrity Holiday. I mean, Casey's done so much. She's like written 2 books. She's been on every TV show. Did you guys know that she was the annoying like neighbor in Gone Girl? I had no idea and it fucking tripped me out. Like you guys know, I love Gone Girl. And I cannot believe like in this interview, I didn't know that I found out after and I freaked the fuck out. Like, that's crazy. She's done so much, but now she is on the Great American Baking Show Celebrity Holiday. She hosts it with Zach Cherry, and they have 5 celebrity bakers that compete for the coveted winner's cake stand and star baker crown. So they have all these celebrities that you know and love bake and compete and like make holiday themed things. It's just a cool show. It's on Roku. You can watch it now. I'll put the link in the description. But she brings all that Casey wonderfulness and pizzazz to the show. And it's a really fun show. And if you're missing the holidays like I am, it's an excellent watch, especially for like disassociating and like not wanting to be in reality for a second. Because January is Januarying, guys. Januarying. It really is. It's like, oh my God, like, can this January be any more? January is Monday, and it's just like feels like we've just been in the longest Monday of our lives. So I'm just so happy to be back with you guys. I'm so happy to try to carve out a little place of normalcy, commiseration, and a little fun in these hellish, crazy times. But thank you for all of you guys that reached out to me. I'm so lucky. I'm safe. I'm fine. My house is fine. But we all got to pitch in to rebuild the city and help everyone who lost everything. So, this is a little bit of a mixed bag of tone. It's a little sad and a little happy, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like straddling two realities. Like I'm like on one hand, like, okay, it's the beginning of the year, let's go. And then I'm like, still spiraling and reeling from just the past 2 weeks. And I would also like a prize for my mother staying with me for 10 days. She is the most fun person in the world, but goddamn, 10 days, it's like, but I kept saying like, we'll never get it again. We'll probably never have this again. And I'm just grateful that she even wanted to stay at my house and that I had, I loved it. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging on while we took this extra long break that wasn't intended to be an extra long break, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we obviously had to push this episode. So here it is. I'm so excited for you guys to hear it. I love you dearly. Get ready for a year of a lot of bedtime, a lot of new and exciting things. I'm going to do a solo in about a week to check in with you guys again. But we have a lot of really exciting guests. Oh, by the way, this week is the 4th year anniversary of Live from Bed. How crazy is that? 4 years with you guys. That's nuts. I'm like, oh God, it's just been the ride of a lifetime and I love it so much. 2025 will be a lot of community stuff. Okay, I'm rambling, but I've been dying to talk to you guys. You have to understand, like, I've been just deprived of my favorite people. Okay, last thing I'll say is that I'm going to put some donation links for the LA fires in the description. And if you want to find out other ways to help, DM me. I have lists upon lists. And if you're feeling helpless right now, and if you just need to like fucking stay still for a second, it's okay. Like if you're in LA, like give yourself the space to grieve, to process what just happened. It was such a fucking mind fuck. There's going to be years of opportunities to help. So if you're not like in a great space right now, it's okay. A lot of us aren't. And you just have to give yourself grace. So I will put some links in the description in case you want to donate or in case you want to volunteer. And I hope you love this episode. All right, here is Casey Wilson.
Casey Wilson, welcome to my bed couch on Live from Bed.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here and even more thrilled to be in bed doing a podcast.
We're in couch bed.
I mean, I don't have shoes, I don't have socks on. I feel right at home.
And
here.
You're with Taco, like you've gotten the full cozy vibe.
I'm definitely getting the full cozy vibes. I got the Christmas tree here.
Yeah.
I love it. I love your house.
Thank you. Full transparency, I made this bed fortress for my birthday. And then I was like, I was going to take it down or not take it down, move the couches back. And I was like, Casey's going to be here. Who, by the way, you guys, like let the sirens go off. Casey is the second timer on Live from Bed.
I am?
You are.
Okay, I've never been so touched.
Right? Like, yeah. I'm like, no, there is no better person for this.
Thank you for having me.
As we had established last time, you are raised in bed. You are like...
I am a bed person, yes. Just
we
like you.
both hail from bed mothers.
Yeah.
And we are bed people.
Yeah, that's right. When you have a bed mother, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a bed person.
Are you a bed mother?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God. Okay, so wait, how do we incorporate that like into our kids' childhood? Because like I need to know.
It's so hard because so many other moms, we were just talking about this with moms, like are like on the floor playing with their kids. And I'm like, it's definitely harder to play from bed, you know?
Right.
But I make it work.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of things with my little 2-year-old where I'm like, let's see if you can get up here all by yourself. Try to make it fun for her. And then when she's up there, I'll do anything to try to keep her.
Right.
So it's ultimately very stunting for her.
Yeah, I can imagine. But like,
I'm making it work.
I think being a child of a bed mom is actually great.
Last night, I got both my sons, 7 and 9, on either side of me. We're cozied up on the couch, but of course my couch is basically a bed.
Yeah.
Christmas tree on. We're watching Father of the Bride together. I'm crying my eyes out. I was like, if I'm looking for more happiness,
you're like, I
won't find it. Like, this is it.
You won.
Yeah.
Period.
I was like, to have them both in here watching Father of the Bride with me.
Oh my God. And they're like, they're bed people. Like, that's where they probably come to for comfort.
They do. My husband finds it strange that we're in bed all the time.
He's probably not mentally ill at all, huh?
No, he's not.
I know, my husband neither.
He has a little OCD, but in a way that's like fun.
Right.
You know, where it's like, oh, he throws salt over his shoulder.
Right.
Not in the way that's like...
crippling.
Yeah.
No, my husband, I'm always like, I'm definitely the person that you bring to like your family gathering. And I'm like, your aunt has PTSD. You're like, I'm labeling your entire family. And I try to find this dormant mental illness that like, I will surely bring out my husband.
Yeah.
I can't find out. I can't
Right,
find
because if you can't bring it out, no one could.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
So we were just talking because we were talking about my birthday and there was a package that I'm expecting. And the reason that I'm expecting it, because normally I would just let the cards fall as they may.
Yep.
This time I'm so anxious because I have a present chaser on my hands.
Okay, whatever is the present. No, that is TM, by the way.
TM.
You told me what this is. This is like a Seinfeld episode. Like, what is a present chaser? Please tell everyone.
Okay, so there are present chasers. There are people that get you a gift and then they like just let like fate, do whatever. They're like, I already did the good deed. It's going to get to her eventually. Then there are present chasers who like text you like, oh my God, the tracking says it's going to be there today. So like, not only do you have to thank them for the present, you have to like thank them leading up to it.
Then you have to work to get the present.
Right.
And
working my fucking ass off.
You're lying here in this bed.
Yeah.
Working so hard.
Yeah.
Trying to tell everyone to open the door for you.
Right.
That's messed up that you have to do this work.
Like happy birthday to me.
But I do have so many relatives that do this. I'm like, guys, the present is to not contact me ever.
Please.
Or send anything.
Right.
You know,
100%.
or if it comes, it comes. If I send someone something and I never hear about it again, I don't even, here's the text I hate. It's so fine if you didn't like it or whatever, but like, did you get the present? I'm like...
Did you get the present? Which means like, okay, you already know that I'm late on thanking you.
You didn't say that I liked it and I didn't do enough.
I know. Okay, so this weekend, my husband's grandparents, wonderful, got me an incredible gift. Thank you, thank you. I wanted to call them at one point. My husband was like, I don't feel like talking to my grandparents right now. Fine. I was like, okay, but you're inflicting upon me. I'm going to see them tomorrow night. Then I have to do the worst kind of present thanking is when you see the person and you're like, oh my God, by the way, thank you for that gift, because it shows that you didn't.
It's like it didn't even make any impression on me
Right.
whatsoever to do anything. And the only thing that jars me out of me hating that gift is seeing you. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's
But
rude.
present chasers, I had them for my wedding. I have them for my birthday.
Ugh.
It's like you are literally not even holding my hand.
Okay.
You have handcuffed my hand.
I also hate people that drop off food that they've made.
Oh.
Don't do it.
Oh,
it's
they're
not
like, it's
nice.
hot. You got to do it now.
It's not nice, and I don't believe anybody wants it. And I'm
Right.
sorry to say it, and that might just be very unrelatable and rude for me to say.
No, I'm so happy you said that.
It's always like, is the gate open? And are you going to be there? And tell me when you're this and tell me when you're that. I'm like, I don't want to be tracked. Like when I would have kids, I think a gift card, all I'm going to say is like a Postmates is like, let someone do that eat on their own time.
Okay,
Fine.
wait, that's so true, because you do hear often that like for new moms, you should get them like fresh whatever cooking thing. I don't cook or bake. I don't do anything productive like that.
Yeah.
So I would always like Postmate it and then like bring it to their house or like
No,
Postmate
but then
to
it's
their
like,
house.
here's the crock pot. And when can I get that back? And can I swing back and get it?
No.
It's a multi-step process.
No.
Yes?
No.
And by the way, if anyone has baked for me, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I do really appreciate it. And I'm bitter because I can't do the same for anyone.
But don't chase me.
Don't make people work for gifts. That's the thing my friend and I have been saying for years.
Oh, really?
Yes. Not,
okay,
you said it better though.
No, I need to come into this club because
Present chaser.
Yeah, present chasers. It's like, did you get the gift? It's about to arrive. Like, go check your mail. I literally got those. I got all 3 of those.
And please check no signature required. And if it is stolen, again, that's all part of the gift.
You know? And then there are people that apologize for the fact that it's not coming until later. And you're like, I'm good. We're good. You sent some. It's good. It's all good.
I have to tell you something my aunt did because she won't listen to this, and I do love her on the off chance. So she calls me and she's like, she goes, hey, I got the strangest thing from your father and his wife.
Great.
And I'm like, what? And she goes, they got me a red purse. I don't like it. Should I send it back to them? I go, what? And she goes, no, I should just send it back. And I said, why? She goes, because I didn't like it. And I'll just tell them I didn't and I'll send it back. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she goes, well, what do I do with it? I said, you put it in your closet or in your attic or give it to someone like every normal human and you say thank you. She goes, really? I'm like, yes. And then I said, and maybe if you want to be really nice, you might trot it out when they come into town. And she goes, but I don't like it. And I'm like, this is psychotic.
I'm telling you. Okay, so there are 2 types of families in this world, or just upbringings. There are returners and there are not returners.
Yes.
I grew up in a very not returning family. Like I was always like, oh, they chose this for me. They liked this at one point. Like the present I opened was the present I was stuck with. Yeah. Like for better or for worse.
For life. Yeah.
I married into a returning family.
It's so weird. It's like on the one hand, you're appreciative, but on the other hand, it's jarring that they're like, I got you this, but I don't care if you get a completely different thing with it.
Right. And they're like, oh, but you spent the money, so you want me to have something I love, so like I should return it for something I love. My husband, so this year I decided that like I'm going to buy the ugliest thing in the store. And then, because I just know he wants the monetary value, you know what I mean? He just wants
I see.
Because even if he loves it, he wants to make sure that there's nothing more in the store he would love more.
Okay, so you're really just getting a gift card in the form of an
placeholder.
object. Yeah, a placeholder.
Literally a placeholder to say that I didn't get the impersonal gift card. But I went and got...
But for all intents and purposes.
But I know you're going to return it.
Yeah.
Like, so the day after Christmas, we go and we return all of these things.
The day after you go right away?
Oh, yes.
No.
That never existed to me.
Wait, you're popping up on the 26th and going and returning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I gotta get what I want and quit.
He wants to make sure that he knows exactly what's in the store, the stuff that he's missing out on that can't get.
That he could be getting tomorrow.
He'll use your gift as leverage to get a more expensive gift. He'll pay the difference. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's real.
Wow.
It's real.
God love him, you know?
You know, he was working overtime.
He's making it, he's making it work for him.
Yeah, the rest of us are like, you know, you got to remember like what your aunt gave you that was like out of touch. And
I'm like, there's no possible way I could.
I just feel like they're going to know somehow.
Of course.
They're going to find out. They're going to get a ping somewhere that I returned their shit.
Yeah.
I'm like paranoid.
There will be a ping.
No, and meanwhile, he's like, rest easy. If they get the ping, like they know that I like cared enough that I...
Right, if anything, it's like a nice thing for his family to feel that he didn't like it.
Right.
Wow.
It's crazy, right? I'm like, I married into a family that is not mine. So speaking of my husband, he has celiac disease like your son.
Yes.
I did not realize that your son had like he's celiac since he was 6 months old.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy that they knew that then.
Yeah. They tested him for like stomach cancer, all kinds of crazy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my son, we've known since he was 3, but it's definitely like, it's so easy to eat gluten-free, but it's definitely a lifestyle.
Oh yeah. Do your other, like, so you have another son and another daughter?
Yep, they are not. They don't have celiac yet, I don't think. Yeah. But we kind of eat pretty gluten-free in the house. So and by that, I mean, I order food that's not.
Right. I can tell you literally, you live in LA, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm like, you're here right now. Yes. So I can tell you the best gluten-free places in LA. I have I have it on lock. So this year, it's a real it's a deeper wound.
100%.
You know?
My son will say like, and I get it. I mean, I guess maybe a little more with a kid, but I get with an adult too. I'm only just speaking because I've gone through it with my son where if, you're at a birthday party or the teacher brings out something, it's like, it does suck if you don't have but it has
because like birthday parties are like pizza and cake.
Always. So I'm like trotting around a fucking box with a couple pieces of pizza and my own cupcakes. This is not who I'm meant to be.
No, right?
I'm not meant to be the mom with a kid with an allergy.
No, it's an intense.
It's not what God wanted from me.
But here you are.
Here I am doing the Lord's
intense.
Work. Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving, are you working overtime? Like you're doing double the amount of work.
But my poor son, like he really does make do with it. But yes, we're always trying to work on the margins and get other things going.
Because I do feel like it's not only just like a physical allergy, of course, there is a mental thing that goes on that I think when you're like, you have to constantly be like, no, I can't have that. I can't do that. I poke fun at him a lot, but I am like, okay, because it has gotten easier to an extent to eat gluten-free, but then it also has gotten harder because restaurants are like, oh yeah, you're gluten-free.
Right,
and then
he's like, no, I really am.
He's like, no, I'll projectile vomit all over this restaurant. Is it like a 4-hour thing for your son?
Yes, he just feels so sick.
It happens 4 hours later, like clockwork every time. And let me tell you.
Even if he just has a little bit.
Oh, even just a little bit. Like my mom made pancakes on Christmas and she made gluten-free and gluten-full. And he got sick. It was not my mom's fault. She tried really hard the whole night.
Sounds like something happened. I hate to bring your mom down.
Sounds like maybe it was diabolical. Who knows? But he was down for the count. No,
was she making him from bed?
I know, truly. She rose out of bed to make these. And when I was getting married, you have the like natural jitters. Like everyone's like, when you know, bullshit. You're going to still have jitters. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to be like, well, I'm making a huge decision. One of those huge moments for me was like, every time a waiter asks, do you have a food allergy? I'm going to have to say yes. And like every time no, swear to God. Yeah. And every time he says like, oh my God, I feel like a little nauseous, which is like a normal human reaction to feel like every so often, I'm going to be scared for my life that it's like a gluten allergy because it is not a joke. It's not like you just feel a little bloated. It's like.
It's bad.
Whew.
Wow.
Crazy.
It's a lifestyle. Like when we go on vacation, which brings so much. And again, there's so many worse things, but it is definitely like you don't escape it. You eat 3 times a day, so it comes up constantly.
And you got to like communicate to this waitress. You got to be like, okay, listen, it is for real.
My husband like sort of has taken over doing that speech. I just like sit quietly and he does it, which I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Can I tell you what's in your future though?
What?
Your son being an adult and being like, don't tell them I have an out. So my husband now, his parents are so used to like saying it, and they grew up in like the 90s with celiac disease. Not they think it's a lot more serious, but like his allergy has gotten like, he can have like ponzu sauce now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's gotten a little better, but he certainly can't have any like bread product. But he's like, it's my allergy. I can say it like to the way he's 33 years old and he's like arguing with his parents. Yeah. So you're going to be that parent where like.
I'm so used to giving the speech. Yes. Because it's a whole thing. And then we do a joke up top. Like we have a whole stand up. Exactly. We're like, oh, sorry to be annoying. But, and then we look at them like dead as serious as you could get.
So he's going to come with his wife at one point and be like, I can give that speech on my own.
That'll be so strange.
It's so sad.
Now I'm really like, oh, maybe we do like doing this little speech. And
no, I'm serious. Because my mother-in-law is like really poor thing is like, she spent her whole life saving his ass. Yeah. And then now she has to like kind of retract a little bit.
Well, now he tells his own friends' parents and stuff. And I'm just like, wow, he's out in the world.
Yeah.
Just,
But like even those friends' parents, you have to like, discuss with them and he'll puke in their car probably.
Yeah,
and,
I'm sure he will.
Yeah. It's the whole thing.
Now, am I okay to drink in bed?
Oh, yeah, please.
I'm going to grab my coffee. It's a small coffee.
I mean, it would have been better if it was alcohol, but yes, you can drink anything in bed.
So sad.
Okay, so what's your favorite thing to do in bed that's not sleeping?
Oh my God. Well, I like to play. Have you ever? I can get up to some rummy cube in bed. Things that you would think with the sheets kind of will be harder, no problem. I can really get cards with my kids in bed. I can play poker in bed.
You can do everything.
You really can do everything. But we've been playing a lot of games in bed.
That's fun.
Where it's like, you come to mommy. I seem like
I'm going to be the exact same.
Yeah,
type of
it's
mom.
like I'm comfortable and
Right.
come to me. I also can direct my kids so well from bed now. We're all like, if something's right there and it's like something a mom should grab, I'll be like, it's right there. Grab that.
Grab that.
I just send
No,
them
you
off
rule
now.
the roost from bed.
Right. They're
So
my
how
little...
often do they sleep with you?
Less. They used to sleep with us a lot more. So now my little guy will sleep with us a couple nights a week.
Okay. Is there one child that has more of an affinity for bed?
One of them, unfortunately, had a haunting in his room. And so there was some type of ghost in there.
Shit.
That was...
I believe that.
I do. I mean,
I'd be like, shit, you tell me that, I'm like scared too.
I got the house ghost busted by a woman that charged a lot of money.
No.
Of course.
Wait.
Of course.
Okay, so what you Googled what?
Friend of mine had a ghost in his condo, and his
Shut the
friend
front
got
door.
him a gift certificate for this woman, and she's called Ghostbuster. Like when she handed me the thing, like she's a Ghostbuster, and she's an older woman, very nice, as you can imagine, a bit more out there.
Okay, she's an older woman, almost a ghost herself.
Almost a ghost herself. Yeah, you might say almost a ghost herself. And now you might think she might come over to your house. It's all remote.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and you might say on Zoom, no.
No.
We don't see the work per se.
Okay, but you believe it.
The work is being done because that room was haunted for 2 years. My son said there's a ghost comes in and out of the vent.
Oh,
and
shit.
now our cleaning woman kind of stopped going in there. We all were just like, this is a weird room.
Oh, no.
Then another woman that had come over told us that something kind of pulled on her shirt out in front of his room. This like IV therapist that came over once. Which I also got from bed a lot.
Getting an IV in bed is like...
Never said I was relatable.
No, please. You're relatable to me. Which is all...
People are like, I hate this girl so much. But anyway, so we got it busted. And I will tell you, he's now still sleeping there pretty much every night now.
Wow.
It has such a better energy in there. So even if it is a placebo, we don't have LA, the real estate market. I can't have a bedroom just sitting closed.
100%. But I am a placebo person, and I don't think that's the thing not working. I think it's
right.
like a lucky me that I like believe it.
Well, she said I had some spirits attached to me. So once I heard that they were gone, I didn't know that they were, but they were gone as soon as I heard about
The
them.
ones in you were...
I felt lighter.
I'm sorry if you don't like dogs because Taco
No.
is really sensing that and making himself known to you.
Taco is with me and it's wonderful.
Do you have a dog? No.
I did. And he passed away.
Okay.
But before...
That would make me not a dog person too. That's brutal.
It's a tougher...
It's really intense and people don't really like give it the grace.
Yes, I agree. Because we adopted an older dog too, so we also hadn't had a lot of time. It was a bummer.
Oh, that is a bummer.
I'm a great person. I'm just kidding.
So the ghost was the dog.
The ghost was, honestly, if the ghost of Duffy was out there. But yeah, it does seem that the ghost is gone, whether or not it's...
So would you call this woman again?
Oh, 1,000,000%. She's now busted like 20 of my friends' houses.
Where does she live?
Santa Fe.
Oh, shit. That's where all
You could
Ghostbusters
have
should
guessed
live.
that, I'm sure. Where all great Ghostbusters live.
Wow. So like Sage Palo Santo or like just
No,
vibes?
we're beyond that because again, she's not in person.
Right.
So it's...
Oh, yeah, you can't...
She's leading entities into the light that are maybe like halfway here. She's having them fully go.
Oh, my.
And she does charge by square foot.
No.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So you had to tell her how many square
I
feet your
did,
son's
and I had to
bedroom
say, and we have an ADU. I said it's not permanent, but we do have it. If it's not permanent, does it count?
There's a ghost in the
For a
ADU.
Ghostbuster.
Oh my God, that's fucking incredible.
I know, it's sad.
It is okay. So I'm sorry. I'm just literally. I need you to tell me who that was because I probably need to call them. Who knows? Who could be among us?
People are among us, is
Right?
what she believes, and we pick up people when we're out there.
That's why I don't leave. That's why I'm in here.
Do you not leave?
I don't like to.
Okay,
I was fostering a dog, which I used like as an excuse
to go out.
to not.
Oh,
So I
quite
was
the
in my
opposite.
house for 9 days straight.
and you didn't leave.
I don't think I've broken that record since COVID.
And did you like it, or were you like, I got to get out of
Day
here?
9, I was like, it's against my brand to want to leave.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I think I was like in there trying to be like, you know what, like we need
Let's
to
do
do
it.
this. But day 9, I was a little like,
Does your husband work outside of the house?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to be here alone. That's nice.
and like when someone comes back into the house after you've been in there all day, you're like, you gotta like, you know, you have to be careful because like they want to stay home and like
Do
chill.
their time, yes.
Yeah. But I'm like, oh, no. I'm like itching. So you have to like entertain me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Oh my God.
So you're a holiday person like I am.
Yes.
You're like, how long ago did you decorate for Christmas?
So normally I do it like the first week of November. I have done it in October as well.
Me too.
But last year I tried to do a Halloween tree. It doesn't work. Doesn't scratch the same.
Like orange and black.
I know. It was bad. And then this year was a little later than I would have wanted. It was like November 8th. And I don't feel I've had enough time with the trees and they're going next week.
No, I think we should like extend how long they can stay.
But here's my question. So my friends and I have been talking about this and they said that especially if you celebrate like Three Kings or there are cultures that celebrate longer.
Wait, what do you mean celebrate three? What is that? Celebrate Three Kings?
Well, it's like a lot of Puerto Rican people celebrate it and it extends basically they extend through like January 4th, I want to say. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this to anyone.
That sounds wonderful.
Who celebrates. But my question is this. Then my other friend was like, well, I think let's just leave the tree up with no ornaments on in January when it's like such a bummer dopamine.
Yeah. So it's like a ficus. It's just like a casual tree.
But will it feel like a one night stand where you're like, ugh, I didn't want to see you after Christmas? Are you like, I thought you were going?
I think especially if you have kids, there's like some expectation tied to the tree. Yeah. You know, they want some things under it.
Right.
But like my house looks like horrible without like the decorations. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like the rest of the year?
Yeah. I just feel like it looks empty, like bare.
You have a nice holiday house.
I just had to. I have to like really just put dopamine in every corner of the house so that I can.
And now are you on like a Vyvanse kind of a thing as well?
No. Should I be?
Well, you don't have ADHD.
No, I do. I'm not even should I be.
I love how I'm acting like you should be. I've been on it for 9 days.
I think we literally have the same mental illness recipe.
9 days. And I will say I'm actually disturbed and saddened that I wasn't on it before.
Okay.
Again, just been 9 days.
So no, I've had
but
trials.
I'm ready to prescribe to others at this point.
Okay. So I've had trials with Adderall.
Okay.
And I've done very well.
Okay.
But like, don't you find like being like in a people's job? Like sometimes I'm like, wait, hold on. I turned to stone and I feel like I can't have a proper conversation.
Oh, when you're on Adderall?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I've never done Adderall or Ritalin.
Okay.
Those kind of scared me, even though I think this is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt fine.
You feel fine?
If anything, I'm like, which I know has not been evident today. So right now, excluded, interrupting people a lot less. A lot less like all over the place.
I interrupt people so much. Do you do it on your show?
Yeah, well, it's the hallmark of our affliction.
Oh, do people like notice that you do that?
No, but just ADHD in general, that's the hallmark of it. So,
okay. So you and I have ADHD we thought was depression before.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But so many of those symptoms are actually ADHD that you just get diagnosed later in life.
Yes.
Okay, so I have that.
Okay.
And I'm like, so way more of my symptoms, like, to the point where I'm almost like, I don't know about the depression side because I think I only have the ADHD side.
That's what I have.
Right?
I've been kicking around with where I was taking a pad from room to room. I'm way older than you, but I'm like starting even into like perimenopause. And so I can't remember one thing. So first I thought it was hormones, but boy, that
Do you
Vyvanse
text yourself?
helped. Of course.
Yeah, me too.
I have Post-its, I have stickies.
Me too.
The things I'm trying to do to just like get from one thought to the other.
Yes.
It's a lot.
So we are like this second generation. I mean, I think like my grandma definitely had like severe mental illness, but then my mom had it more presentably so.
Yeah.
And then she passed it on luckily to me.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can really like relate to other people and moms unless they have it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, for me to even show up, even remotely close to like as you're showing up, it takes so much more.
Oh, you mean you as in another person?
Yes, you as in another person. I'm saying like if I'm seeing other people just on the street doing their thing or like people come over to the house or whatever, I'm like, oh, for me even to just be erect is like taking everything.
Right, like you should actually be giving me my kudos for just simply getting up.
Right.
But I do think multi-step things are just, they are more difficult. It's neurodivergent.
Totally.
There's a lot of things that are more challenging. I have had some friends that were on these medications that really made me want to not try them. And I'm 44 and I'm like, why didn't I do this earlier? Like I need them.
Right. No, I need them.
I'm not trying to get it to like go party. I'd like to just simply like clean up my home.
I'd like to literally cross one thing off my to-do list.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I have a friend who was on it in college and like she would be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, want to like talk to everyone and do everything from like 8 to 9.
Yeah.
And then it really sunk in. And then
Like
it was
8
like
a.m. to 9
8
a.m.?
a.m. to 9 a.m. because
That
she'd
was her
take it in
good
the
hour.
morning. And that was her good hour. Like
Okay.
where she was like, let's do it. You know, like just going crazy.
Yeah.
And then from like 9 to 7, she was like zoned in.
Maybe.
But like you're able to talk to me.
Yeah.
So like that means it's like, okay.
It's just like made me a little less scattered.
I know, because I interrupt. I'm scattered. I'm like,
and I don't know that those qualities are like, they're not leaping away from us, but I do,
No.
I feel like it's harnessing some organizational part of my brain a bit
no, like
better.
I was tested. I did the whole thing and I like really tried to not get that answer from the test. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when you actually try.
And even you trying not to, they were like, they
Were
need
like,
medication.
I don't know how you've been functioning up until this point. And I'm like, babe, me neither.
Well, when I talked to the therapist, I said, the psychiatrist, I was like, listen, I think I have ADHD, blah, blah, blah. And she kind of stopped me and she's like, I am basically like, I'm the doctor. I will decide what you have. Like, I don't need you telling me. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, shit.
You know, I was
Okay.
scared.
Yeah.
Cut to like 40 minutes later. I've given her some anecdotes. She goes, I think you can run. You can fill it now before you get to
No,
writing.
literally go right this second.
She literally was like, okay. Once she heard that I had driven away from the gas pump twice with it in the thing.
Hello. It's Wednesday afternoon.
She was literally like, I said to her, that's child's play. Like,
But even like the avoidance, like, you know what I mean? Like all of that stuff, like we're either 100 or 0.
yes.
That's really huge. Like I can
Yes.
do
you
this
have to
treat.
take naps?
Yes.
Yes.
I love naps.
I love them too, but sometimes I just wish I didn't have to.
Totally.
I'm in a more like have to place with them.
No, completely.
And it has given me more energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And by the way, I did still take them a couple days ago, but like and I don't think there's anything wrong with them, but sometimes I'm like, no, I need to be at my kid's thing.
Right. No, but even like what's scary is that I can nap on those meds.
Oh, me too.
I'm
no
like,
problem. I
oh,
can have
wait.
like a full Diet Coke, like a 7-Eleven, like big
Are
gulp.
you my fucking twin? Wait, what? Do you mean
It's
Diet Coke?
nothing
You
to
drink
me.
Diet Coke too?
I will, yes, of course. But I do like a full fat Coke.
Oh, okay. You like fat Coke better. Is that what it's called?
I call it full fat.
Fat Coke.
I don't know.
I would drink fat Coke, but I just like the taste of Diet Coke better.
Yeah. I mean, none of it keeps me up, which it just doesn't.
Okay. So like, I just need to figure this out.
My husband says every day I do a play around my nap, I'm always like, I go, oh my God, this is so crazy. So he's like, we don't need this charade and this like Groundhog Day play. I'm like, this is crazy. I think I may need a nap. And he's like, oh, you think you need one? He's like, for 10 years, you've taken on an every day. It's like a,
You're like, maybe.
It's like normally I'm so go. But today, he's like, just walk upstairs and we know where you're going. Like,
I mean, in fairness to us, sometimes they are dumb enough to fall for that.
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
sometimes they are.
But I have friends, like, again, we were on a couple's trip and they were all like wanting to go on a walk. And I'm like, no, thank you. And they said, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to stay here and sleep on the outdoor chairs.
Yeah.
And they're like, but you're not like in your bathing suit. You're just lying on a
No.
chair. Yes.
No, I need sensory deprivation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't want to be around any of
and
these
they're
bitches.
all like, oh, it's so weird Casey stayed back. I'm like, oh, you guys are weird for wanting to go on that walk.
That's funny that you say that because my friends recently, they were like, you're stubborn. And I was like, huh, I consider myself extremely self-aware. I'm in therapy twice a week trying to combat these fucking demons.
Yeah.
But stubborn was not something I really pegged myself as.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, because like if you don't want to go somewhere or do something, you'll be like, no, I'll stay back. You guys do that. And I was like, that sounds generous of spirit. That doesn't really
That sounds generous. That sounds boundaried.
sounds wonderful to me. But they were like, yeah, you just like believe what you believe and like you want to do your own thing and like if people don't want to do the same thing, you don't want to do that.
Right.
But I think that's like originated from my need to like nap, need to like retreat, need
Yes.
to not be
And like re-energize.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am recharged by being by myself.
Me too.
But like you can be alone with your husband, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, as long as he's not like asking me something.
Right.
Or like speaking or breathing.
Saying anything at all.
Saying anything at all. Okay, but you give me hope because I really think like when I'm afraid of having kids, because I'm leaning into that zone of my life.
Okay.
And I know that I want kids more than anything.
Yeah.
Like I know that I want to be a mom. I know I'm destined to be a mother. The whole whatever you want to say to make other people approve of you being a mother.
Yeah.
But the bed thing scares me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think I have said it so many times with therapist. I'm like, I don't see other moms like in like taking naps every day. That
Right.
phrase I've said 1,000 times. And
Right.
she's just like, yeah, you take naps. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like you just have to know it might not look the way we want it to look. But I'll also say my mom's spend a lot of time in bed. I mean, like weekends where we like she didn't come
me
out.
too.
So I'm like, at least I'm getting back up.
Right. At least you're
With
getting
love.
up.
I'm getting back up.
Okay, maybe
there.
that is our chain to break. Maybe
Also,
we're just
I'm so sorry. I have to just tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
Will you ever? I'll take a nap at 6 p.m. My husband's like, it's a bit late for
What do
a
you mean?
nap. I'm like, what are you talking
there
about?
are no rules.
Right. He's like, so you're taking a nap to just then have more energy for the last 1 hour of the night? I'm like, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
So we get out of bed sometimes, which is huge.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
We maybe don't disappear for like a month.
No.
We get up a few times, but we need to.
Sometimes.
If I don't fucking recalibrate in bed, I am of no use to society.
Exactly. Or to anyone.
I can't.
Yes.
But other people like really are like, oh, I'm so anxious not doing something.
Oh, I don't understand that.
I don't get it.
No, neither do I.
I really don't get it. Oh my God.
either.
I could talk to you for 4 years on just our mental illness alone. So I think, honestly, if you were to look at a chart, we'd be
very close. I know.
Because then the Bravo thing
If we
comes
could just
in.
sit still for a test, we would really
Truly.
see something.
But like, didn't you get through school? Like I fucking had to survive through school.
Oh, 100%. And the psychiatrist was like, so how did you do in school? Like math. And so I'm like, oh, I failed. Failed. And she was like, but how did you go to NYU? And I was like, I've relied upon the kindness of strangers.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. Like teachers felt bad for me. Like I don't know.
No, people are like, she's the president of the school, but she is failing math.
Same,
Like, what do we do?
I was the president of school, failed every single math class.
Right.
To where they were finally just like, we don't know what to do.
Right. Because we're personality, but we're not.
It's tough because I do think then I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. I really thought that too for a long time, which I am. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, duh.
But
same.
Emotionally, not as, I just was like, oh, I can't learn anything. And it does mess with you a little, I think.
Right. But then we created these jobs. Thank God. The good Lord created these jobs.
Good Lord.
Where we could be sitting like this and we can sparkle.
That's right.
But we can't sparkle in other ways.
No.
You know?
No.
Like going on trips with friends, are you okay?
I am.
Yeah.
Do
If
you
there's
like
friends
that
that
or no?
understand that like you need to retreat.
Yeah, they all know.
Yeah.
They're just like, okay, I guess Casey's going to be asleep.
I'm going to miss one dinner.
Oh, totally. People also are really nice about coming and gathering around the bed. And I'm like, let me hear you guys talk. I'll be asleep.
You were the only person that'll understand this. When I saw Jill Zarin, when Bethany was like, her bed is the UN. And like they would just come in her bed, like Jill Zarin would be sitting in bed. They'd like talk about that. That was my life. That was my childhood.
I also like crawling onto someone's bed with them. I think it's warm.
It's like how you get like intimate conversation.
Yeah.
Like after a night out, you and your girlfriends are in bed, like talking
100%.
Thank God for us.
I think we're really
like the
reframing what others might call lazy.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, let's not even get into
the stuff that I could run laps around you from my bed.
That's right. That's right.
I think that's actually more inspirational, like what we can do from our bed.
Yeah, what we can do in the shadows.
From bed, you can do it all.
That's right.
Have you, do you think you've completed your Bravo bucket list?
Like covering the shows, you mean?
Just being on Watch What Happens Live,
Oh, yeah.
have you been to BravoCon?
No, we couldn't go. I'm trying to think what happened. We were going to host a panel, but we're going to do it next time.
Okay, you have
But
to.
I haven't gone. Did you go?
No.
Okay. No.
I know. It took a long time for me to figure out what that vibe was.
Yes.
And
Totally.
if the real Bravo fans were going, if
I think they are.
I think they really are.
I actually was like, I wondered that too, but I'm like, I think it's perfect.
No, I think we
when I really drilled down on it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's right.
Yeah, but how many times have you been on Watch What Happens Live?
A bunch, I think.
A lot.
Probably like 10.
Damn.
I think, yeah.
Do you love doing that show?
I love it.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. Have you done it?
I've only bartended twice.
Oh, you should be a guest.
Oh my God. I'm not big enough to be a guest
Yes, you
but
are.
I would kill to.
Oh, I bet you were great.
Were people up in arms about the takes you made?
Oh, I've gotten some DMs.
Yeah.
Because what's interesting is the housewives, God bless them, they can't, and I say this with so much love and affection, they can't figure out how to listen to a podcast, but boy, can they watch What Happens Live.
It's true.
So I'm flying under the radar with most of my comments, but they definitely touch down with me.
On Watch What Happens Live.
Yes.
Okay, so one of my favorite things that you have come up with since I've seen you last is this small talk book.
And you don't like small talk, right?
Allergic. But maybe not after listening to your audiobook.
Okay.
So what do I say? You talked an audiobook? I can't say, did you write?
We wrote an audiobook. My partner and I, Jessica St. Clair, a friend, that we just both love small talk so much.
Yeah.
And we're too lazy to write a book. And so, we did write it. That was the bummer. We're like, oh, wow.
Did you write in bed?
Did have to write it, of course.
Yeah. Duh.
And she's even more off in space than us. So,
I love that.
So it's a miracle that we finished this book.
It is a really incredible gift that you've given to me me and,
God bless.
the community
She
at
is
large.
so funny. We just like small talk and other people hate it. And that is a fact.
Okay, maybe I don't hate it. I'm like, I am good at it.
Yeah.
Because I will just corral you to talk about the thing that I want to talk about.
That's great.
Right? Okay, but I have some small talk
Great.
instances for you that you
Okay.
need to tell me.
Okay.
Okay. So your husband's work wife that you saw in line for TSA.
Okay. So I'm seeing her. Okay. I'm going to go. I bet you're so happy to have a day off from my husband. I wish I had one.
Wow. I'm like impressed. That's fucking amazing.
Oh, look, that's our rule is commiseration. It's just a lot of like this
yeah,
guy.
like this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Okay, like, yeah, we're not enemies. We are.
No, we're actually both in this together with this man that's annoying to both of us.
Oh, I love
Or like
that.
you're taking something off my plate.
See, you didn't even go for the low-hanging fruit, which would have been, where are you going? You know, you don't even
Where are you going? I mean, that's... I
would go.
mean, I guess that's a really great
You're
question.
at the airport. Where the fuck are you going?
Right. Where are you
But
going?
you know better. You know that that's just going to
What
lead
about,
to a
aren't
one.
you supposed to be at work?
Right.
Maybe something like in that
Okay, a little like
range.
I joke
Jokey,
around. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Okay, your therapist at the movies. So this is
Oh, wow,
this
that's a
is
hard one.
problematic because your therapist is not supposed to show outwardly that they know you
Right.
if they're following HIPAA.
God, that is a hard one. So I would just, and we're going to definitely say something.
We're gonna definitely say something. We have to.
I think what would be funniest, and it's not an entree, it's just to say, oh, it's good to see you again. Meanwhile, I see her every multiple times a week. Just like, oh, good to
I
see you.
literally would see Christ. Like I'd be like, what's your favorite candy?
Yeah, that's a great one.
You know?
But that's a great one.
Well, I don't want to know my therapist's favorite candy.
know.
I would just be like, probably pretend like I didn't see that person.
Do you see her in person?
Never.
Okay.
Well, I used to. I went like 3 years seeing her in person, then COVID hit, and then I never saw her
I
again.
never did.
Yeah.
I know. So it's also a shock to just see them.
I'm like, you have legs.
Yeah.
That would be a great
She's like, you
entry.
too. I haven't seen you
haven't
more
seen
than
those
a
legs.
head.
It's so
Yeah.
long. No, I saw one of my therapists one time, not this therapist that I love and adore. I worked at a yoga studio and I checked her into class and she like pretended she didn't know me. And I was like so shook. I just did not know what to do.
Not even a high?
No.
That's a little much.
It was
I think that
intense.
actually leaves you with like a bad feeling.
No, and then we had to like work it out in there. You know
no
what I mean?
time.
I was like, this is just not for me. It's a miracle I didn't quit it altogether.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
surprised.
Okay, what about your boss insists on taking you to lunch for your birthday?
Okay, be real. Who do you hate the most? The Office.
I love it.
And then they're going to be like, I can't talk about that. I'm going to go, okay. Can I guess? Can I guess?
Oh, can
I'm going to go, you can neither confirm nor deny.
See, okay, I think the art of small talk is that like you carry a lot of the burden.
Yes.
Right? And you
Yeah.
have to just be like, I am going to carry this team on my back.
Yes.
And like, we're going to get through this.
Unless you're with an introvert, which is what you would think that's when I need to really amp up.
Yeah.
It's actually when you amp down and ask them questions because they're dying to, which is counterintuitive. But introverts just often just get trampled by extroverts.
Okay. Again, while you're in my brain. So my husband is like the asker of questions. Like he is like Mr. Congeniality at
Yeah.
every event. Like could have done our wedding 50 times over. I was like, if I don't see another 65-year-old for the rest of my fucking life, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
He could have done our wedding a million times over on his head, the whole thing. It's funny that I married and then like my best friend both have this quality in common. They both notice and clock how many questions
Yes.
other people ask them. I have
Introverts
never,
are on the lookout for that.
I went 30 years without realizing that happens. So
Yeah.
like while I'm just gabbing, thinking that I'm filling
Well, and
space.
that's what we said in our book because it is counterintuitive. We think we're doing a service. It's not that we're
Yes.
saying we're so great. I just mean it like you think, oh, if someone's introverted, it means they're shy, which are also different things I didn't really realize.
Yes, for sure.
But you think it's like, oh, they would want me to
Right.
fill the space. But really, it's like almost extroverts sometimes taking a green light to just talk, And I think introverts, I'm also very like uncomfortable with silence. And so
Me too.
like letting there be a silence with an introvert for them to like, I don't mean to make them seem like they're, but
No.
like, I think we do trample introverts a lot.
But even when in this show, something I'm really working on is like sitting in the silence
Yeah.
for like a second because I fucking cannot.
Yeah.
I don't know what about our moms raising us in bed made us not able to handle that. But I was like, the fact that you even clock like how many, I don't know how many questions I've asked that person that I was just with for 4 hours. I might not have asked them any questions. I mean, I was yapping.
Right.
I don't know if they were.
But I was having fun.
But like, that's me. I'm like also like the person that will be like, oh my God, did you see my hair today? And if they're like, oh yeah, that looks great. That's a full compliment to me.
Right.
I give that the full 10 points.
Right, you give that 10.
I will help you to the compliment. Like, I'll be like, oh, like, this is what I want to talk about. Let's get there through you.
Let's make it seem like your own idea to compliment me.
Right. So the concept of like actually being like, oh, that person didn't ask me any questions is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But like my best friend and my husband of 2 years is also that same way.
Is he introverted in a way?
No, I think people think he's more extroverted, but I think in the actual like exchange of questions and answers in a social interaction, he's like, so how was your son's interlocking trip? Like something that I could not care less about.
Right.
I can only also talk about things I'm interested in.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I'll be like, what's your son's trauma?
Yeah.
I'm not really trying to like ask about his like study abroad.
Right. Right.
You know?
Right.
But he's interested.
Right.
He's genuinely interested. So I'm like, so you should just be asking the questions.
But see, we interviewed a lot of people who you have a style. We say you can go shallow to go deep. You like to just get right into it. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. If someone will go there with you, that's great.
Yeah. Like the other day I was like, oh, like who do you get along with? Your mom or your dad more? And the person was like, well, I hate my dad. So and I was like,
now we're off
now
to
we're
the races.
in.
100%.
I was like, let's go.
My friend, when I was at a baby shower, she tried to make fun of me because I asked a group of women, I said, there was a silence that fell. So I'm scrambling it. We don't know everyone. I go, how was everyone's Thanksgiving? She goes, shut up. And I was like, because she was just like, what a dumb question. Ask everyone. Cut to everyone talking about their mother-in-laws. Now, what else?
I live for that.
I said, you're welcome, actually.
150%.
The crazy stories we got around the horn.
Yeah. Like I'll ask
You'll
with
ask
to
a
the
more
realness.
provocative question to get to. Yes.
But I did not know that people were keeping score.
I think some people are. I'm not, but I think some people are. They're like very offended if someone doesn't ask them a bunch.
Right. And I'm like, you are giving me messages that like you do not want to answer anything. But then you're the one that's like
mad at me.
Mad at me. Mad at me for filling this fucking space.
Yeah.
It's
I'm the one doing the work here.
It really blows my mind.
Think.
That was like a real like aha moment. Oprah, like I was like, oh, I did not realize that like I was being watched in this scenario. Okay.
Watched and judged.
Watched and judged.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone from high school you haven't spoken to in 20 years. You're at the gas station. You run into them.
I'm sorry. We look better than we did. And I'm going to say it. You have not aged. I'm just going to throw the compliment right out there. You have not aged.
Oh my God. You're disarming her.
Yeah.
She's like ready. She's ready to talk to you.
How do you look exactly the same?
I love that.
Yeah.
God, you're good. I mean, you should write a book about it. You really are so good. That's okay. You run into your friend's dad at a liquor store.
Oh my, that's a hard one. Okay, friend's dad at a liquor store.
What are you doing here?
Don't tell my parents. That's what I start with. See what they.
So you just have to come out so extroverted.
I come out extroverted, but the main thing is if you are small talking, people just want to talk about themselves. To our earlier,
yes.
So just ask questions.
But I think the obvious questions are like right there in front of us. I think we just get so in our head that we have to ask something so smart and politically correct. It's like if you break the rules a little bit, you're going to get into a more interesting conversation.
We say throw something wild out there.
Yeah, throw something wild out there.
You're like 3 questions, maybe 2. Some people 5 from an interesting story.
Totally.
Or an interesting weird fact about them where you're like, I cannot believe what he just told me.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, I love that. You know, this actually happened to me once. I ran into my teacher, my English teacher. So we had like these after parties at school where like it was debauchery. Oh no, like it was called.
I thought you were talking about high school. I was like,
no, in high school. Oh. I'm talking about in high school.
Okay.
No, I went to like a private school in Los Angeles where kids are trying to fucking, I don't know, disassociate. We had one called Ho in the Dark. We had one called Disneyland. It was all like you wore lingerie and you went to these clubs and like the quiet girl from math class is like straddling like this random guy.
How old are you guys?
15, 16, 17.
Wow.
Okay. So
I'm like such a prude now. I'm like, I would have been at those parties. And now when I think about my kids, I'm like, what?
No, isn't that horrifying?
Okay.
So for one of these parties, I went to Century City Mall, as one does.
Of course.
And I went to the lingerie store. Who even knew there was a lingerie store in Century City Mall? It was my first time ever at a lingerie store. My hand to God. Who did I run into? Miss Danachek, my English teacher.
Wow. Was she there buying something for her?
Buying something for herself.
Oh, God.
I had
what did you do?
You guys, my fucking hand to God, this really happened.
How old were you?
17. And I had to like go to like my principal and be like, because like afterwards she was like mad at me for having run into her. You know what I mean? So she like treated me like shit. So I brought it to the authorities. I was like, this is a weird, because I'm not afraid of saying the scary thing.
Right.
So I like told my teacher, like we ran into each other at this lingerie store and it's fucking weird in her class now.
Oh, what did the
I'm also
principal
a
do?
tattletale, evidently.
Right.
My poor principal was like, I have nothing.
Like, I'm not
I can't
equipped to
help
deal
you.
with these.
So I think I've never been so out of my depth, not knowing like what to ask someone.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Sometimes there's just nothing.
Yeah, but like that's what's scary is that like I can bullshit with the best of them. I can do the small talk.
Yeah.
It's just like what the tax is on my soul. You know, like that's really what it is.
That's nice of you when you give us a gift. You know, I know it's so hard on you to talk to the rest of us,
And
but
I made
it
a career out of it, you know, which is the best part.
Yeah.
Are you a New Year's resolution girl?
I am. I think so.
Have you made ones that you've kept?
Probably not.
Yeah.
No. But I like to have like an overall, like something I'm focusing on over the year.
But we don't remember them.
No, not really.
Once we make them, we don't remember.
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'll make one this year.
Okay.
Just because I've had some manifestors on recently that have been like very successful. And I'm like, maybe there is something to that.
That I believe in.
Oh, really?
Man, you don't believe in
you're
manifesting?
successful, so you probably...
Sorry.
Shit. Okay, so we should manifest.
I do believe in all that. But
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had to come up with a New Year's resolution for these 4 housewives, what would it be?
Okay.
Teresa Giudice.
Okay, I think we need to clean house there with Louis.
We need to do some more background checks.
Do some more background checks within our own 4 walls.
Yes, 100%. The voice is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Okay, Dorit.
Oh, wow. Gosh, I want Dorit looking into her finances. I want her to get very clear on what's going on there. And I also want to find out why her husband orchestrated a robbery. Anyway, go on.
Shut up.
That's what I think. And I stand by that, guys.
No.
I don't think she knows that.
But her husband did.
I'm sorry. No one's not taking any jewelry, leaving a phone at the door. He paid off his gambling debts of $1 million about 2 months later in Vegas. Guys.
Casey?
Sorry.
I needed a new
I don't think
conspiracy
he thought
theory.
she'd be home. That's what I think, but I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. That's just
I'm
worth
actually surprised
everything.
more people don't think this.
Well, what's her face thinks
And by the
it
way, guess
herself.
what? I like PK.
Yeah, I like PK
I'm like,
too.
this, great.
I'm like, he's
Whatever you
creative.
have to do.
He's creative.
He's definitely creative.
Also, more work with Homeless Not Toothless.
That's right.
For sure.
For sure.
Okay, Mary Cosby.
Oh, I love Mary Cosby now. I'm feeling for her so much with what's going on with her son.
Yeah, me
so
too.
I think I hope that they're getting help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was
I'm
important to
wishing
have
her
on the
well.
show.
I do too.
Me too.
I really do.
I was most moved that I have been in a
Me
while
too.
from that show.
Me too.
Or from any of the franchises. Okay, Tom Sandoval.
Ugh. He's just so gross. I don't really gonna wish him, I don't know, anything.
No resolution. You're
I don't
just
think
stuck.
so.
Okay, great. And New York newbies.
Get off my screen.
Yeah, get better. Do
Get
better.
Do better.
Do better. Do more.
Do better. Do more.
I totally
no more
agree
pranks.
with you.
If you do another prank, I
I'm gonna
will
lose my
come
fucking
and kill you.
Yeah, me too. Ick.
And show me, Jenna Lyons, show me your girlfriend, or please leave the screen. Thank you.
Please. Preach. Okay, so you are on the Great American Baking Show.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Can you tell everyone where to watch that?
Yes. So it's on Roku, and we have a holiday special out, a celebrity holiday special. And it's like
So good.
the Great British Bake Off, same host, same tent, same everything. Only it's American contestants.
And you don't
me.
bake.
I don't bake.
But you judge.
I judge. I can judge baking.
We can judge anything.
I don't have to be able to bake.
100%.
I mean,
You know what
luckily,
tastes good?
Paul Hollywood and Prue Lisa are the judges, and I just like make my bits.
Yeah.
And call it a day.
And you can just judge on the side. Yeah. I love that. Okay, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you.
This was the best.
Thank
I'm
you
like,
for
can you
having
stay
me.
forever?
Thank you.
Bye.